You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, Stephen Robinson. Ambassador, welcome back to the show. And because we don't have a lot of time, I'm going to start my question already. I want to talk about two issues here in terms of Philippine and Australian relations. COVID assistance and even Typhoon Odette. I know that when Typhoon Odette wreaked havoc in certain areas in Visayas and Mindanao, that Australia provided assistance in Dinagat, even in southern Leyte, in Cebu, and even also in Siargao. Could you tell us more about this?
Yeah, thanks very much, Pinky, and happy Australia Day to you too. It's lovely to be with you. Just in terms of Typhoon Odette, Australia was one of the first countries to be able to respond to the typhoon, because you'll be aware that we've got pre-positioned supplies across the Philippines in partnership with the Philippine Red Cross and the Philippine government. And so just in about 36 hours after the typhoon, we were able to release those hygiene kits, tarpaulins, tents, and other equipment that would help people who were affected by the typhoon. We were also able, in the first week after the typhoon, to announce a 187 million peso package to assist the Philippines to respond in the short term, medium term, and long term to the effect of Typhoon Odette. I did go down to Surigao just prior to Christmas to have a look, and I've never seen devastation of the type like it. I was involved in the response to Typhoon Rolly the year before, but Typhoon Odette really took my breath away. And to think about the number of regions that were impacted, it's just been horrendous. So Australia, of course, will always come to the aid of its Philippine partner. And so 187 million pesos will be contributed to assist the Philippines to respond from the typhoon. Just in terms, Pinky, then, of our COVID response, that's, as you'll be aware, been ongoing now for a couple of years, and that will continue for the next year or more. And of course, we've already donated vaccines to the Philippines through the COVAX facility, and we've also donated over 700,000 vaccines to the Philippines from our own domestic supply, which is pretty significant. So there's a 1.8 billion peso package that the Australian government has given to the Philippines, and that's really important. And much of that goes to logistical support. So this Friday, for example, I'm going down to a warehouse that's run by UNICEF to release and hand over a range of solar-powered refrigerators that will be distributed down to the Banks Morrow and the Davao regions of the country to help in the distribution of vaccines. So as part of that massive, Did you say solar-powered refrigerators? Yep, that's right. That's right. So, we're very conscious that we need to get to the most difficult areas of the country, because that's what Carlito Galvez has asked us to do, provide logistical support based on Australia's own experience. And of course, we're going out to regions where power is a real issue. So if they're solar-powered refrigerators, then of course they'll be able to operate anywhere. And that's really important to us.
Very interesting. I think the last time we spoke, we were talking about the distribution, the donation of Australia of about 200 oxygen concentrators, if I'm not mistaken. That was, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's right. It was back in November we were talking about that. And those 200 oxygen concentrators, really important in getting out to the areas where people are badly affected by the pandemic and by the virus. And when you need that push of oxygen just to survive, to be able to breathe, to get those oxygen concentrators out to critical hospitals was just wonderful to be able to do. So as part of all this $1.8 billion package, there's more that's coming. And over the course of this year, there'll be about another, over 1 million vaccines coming into the Philippines from Australia. And of course, the logistical support and the practical support in terms of these refrigerators and other elements that assist in the cold chain, they're really critical, and we're going to bring those in too.
And you actually beat me to it when you said Happy Australia Day. I was going to end the conversation by saying Happy Australia, a National Day of Australia. What kind of activities do you have lined up today?
So because of the Omicron spread, we're doing everything virtually this year, which is a bit of a shame, but nevertheless, if people want to get onto our website, Australia in the Philippines on Facebook, or AustAmbPH on Twitter, they'll see a message from me and also learn about our activities. We've got an Australian Food Festival, which is on at present over January and February, both online and through the Robinsons retail group. So if you go down to the marketplace stores, Shopwise and all the Robinson supermarkets, you'll find about 600 different Australian products that are available here in the Philippines. So wine, beef, dairy, lamb.
What is your favorite?
Fruit. Yeah, it's fantastic. So we've all stocked up for today. And even though we can't go out and do a big function, I think there'll be a few barbecues around the place here in Manila today with all the Australians waving their flag and celebrating our multicultural society, which of course is made up with a lot of Filipinos, over 300,000. And one fact that I did not know, that I've only just discovered this week, is that Tagalog is one of the top 10 languages now spoken in homes in Australia. That's pretty amazing.
Is that so?
I'm delighted.
Yeah, that is amazing. All right. Again, happy National Day of Australia to you, Ambassador. Thank you so much for your time, Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, Stephen Robinson.
Thank you, Pinky. Always a pleasure
Thank
to be
you.
with you.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.